Hello and welcome back to Retfurb. On today's video we've got this NAD 3020 amplifier that we're just going to be going over and give it a general service clean. Now it's not going to be a in-depth service or overhaul or anything like that, it's just a quick clean, just a periodical clean which you would do say once a year or maybe more depending on how dusty the house is or the area in which the amplifier is. So I'm just going to go over quickly first and hoover it out. Just go around with a brush. You can see that obviously this amplifier is very dirty just from the outset of this video. So I'm just going to go around first, hoover up as much as I can, remove all of this dust, cobwebs, any sort of grime that's in it as much as I can without obviously disturbing any of the components inside. You can just see here how bad it actually is. So I've got the brush on the end of the hoover which I'm going to use, but I've got this soft brush which I tend to use a lot of because it doesn't sort of move any of the components around too much. It's quite soft. It gets in and around and cleans the dust and everything out without actually causing any damage to the area. So with this sort of cleaning I would do it probably once a year. I'd look at doing it, but like I said before, it just depends on how bad the area is. You know, you could have it in a workshop say and it's getting quite dusty, so then it would require it more often because anything like inside with potentiometers and like that could get quite gunked up. So it just depends on how bad the area is, but I would say at least once a year I'd probably be doing this. So you can see just from that quick hoover out and brush out, it looks a hell of a lot better. Obviously this will help with any sort of heat inside the unit as well. The more dustier and dirty it is, the more heat there will be generated in the unit. So now I'm going to get the front panel off. So with this there's 2 screws at the top, 2 screws at the bottom, then the buttons just pull off the front. The reason I'm doing this is so I can clean in all around the buttons, I can clean around the back, any dust that's in behind the main fascia panel. So this isn't necessary, you know, to take all this off if you don't want to, but any sort of dust that gets in behind, it'd be best to get it out while you're doing this sort of service at the same time. So just again going around with a soft brush, cleaning out any of the dust in behind here. To be honest, the front panel isn't actually that bad, in behind wasn't too bad, but I thought while I'm here I might as well take it off, take all the buttons off, they can all be cleaned up as well, and then when it goes back on it's just nice and fresh again. So now we've got the de-Oxit now to go around the potentiometers, just to spray that inside. So all you need to do is find the small hole on the side of the potentiometer, spray it in, and then work the knob. You don't need a lot of de-Oxit, I just like to spray a little bit in and then sort of work it and maybe put a little bit more if needed. So I'm just going to do exactly the same for all of the potentiometers. It's the bass, the treble, the balance and the volume on this one. So with this you don't have to do this as part of it, but I would consider this as part of just a general maintenance clean, just doing this, going in around, making sure they're all clean and sort of not dirty or scratchy and they don't sound rough when you're using them. So now back onto the back panel, I'm just going to give it a quick brush off again and hoover, just because there's a little bit more that needed hoovering around there when I got to this point. And now just a quick wipe off the back, just with a bit of degreaser on there. Now I'm going to clean the front panel, so just a bit of soapy water over the cloth, just to wipe in around, go in all around where the knobs go. That tends to collect a bit of dust in around there, so you will need to wipe in around there. And now we can start putting the front panel back on. So with this sort of process, this would apply to any sort of hi-fi equipment, any amplifiers, anything really, because it's all going to gather the dust the same as what this will. Obviously the amplifier is the main part of a hi-fi system which is going to be generating probably the most heat, so it's even more important to get any of the dust or dirt out from inside. So I would actually remove the lower panel on this as well and hoover in there, which I did actually do. I don't show it on the video. I didn't realise the camera had stopped when I was doing it, so I did actually do that part, because obviously you will get a bit dust in there as well. So now on to also cleaning the buttons, just a bit of soapy water again, just cleaning them off, and then they can just be pushed back on. And then on this one, I'm actually going to replace the main cable going into the system, purely because it's small. I'm just going to add probably another 40 centimeters onto it just to give it a little bit more space. So although this is not part of the actual general cleaning of what I'm doing on this, I just thought I would show that I actually did it on the amplifier, just to show that sort of process, just a quick breakdown of what I did. It's pretty simple, to be fair. There's only 3 cables obviously on the mains plug that goes in. It needs to be resoldered back on. And then make sure the cable's just cable tied tightly. Obviously you don't want to be able to pull on it and cause any sort of damage and rip those cables out when it's on there. Not that you would be pulling on it, but just in case. So now we're coming to the end of the video and just putting the case back on. I actually did give the case a coat of black texture just to finish it off because it was looking a bit scratched and a bit tatty, so I did that. And now it's back on there, and as you can see it looks a lot better. Obviously it's not perfect, it's an old amplifier, but it's a lot better than what it was, a lot cleaner, and now it'll go on for longer again until it needs another periodic clean. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, it's really appreciated. I hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.